Yeah? Alright, so I will start. So first, when you arrive at the room, normally the screen we would like the one on the bottom anyways, depends on where you're looking. So yeah, you shouldn't need to power off from the switch mainly, not either turn off here because it does have sleep mode. So after 15 minutes that's not being used, it will switch off the screen and it will switch off for the evening then, of course. Okay, I'll just close this one now. Okay, so when it's near to your meeting start or a little bit past in your case, we do have the big join option here on the screen with the title of your meeting. If you close down, you have, this will be your main view there with the calendar and all the meetings that you have for the day. And good to remind that we'll only show the meetings for the day, so we cannot make it show for the week or anything like that. Another thing to be mindful is the title of the meetings. It won't show in the calendar, but it will show on the screen here on the DTEN. So anyone that is passing by the room will be able to see the title of your meeting. They cannot see the anyone that is invited to it, the list of guests or anything, but they are able to see the title. So just be mindful if you have anything confidential there, you know. We do have the option to start a new meeting from here. This, even though the time is booked, will not be into this meeting that we have here, okay? So if you are starting a new meeting from there, anyone who has the invite to this time slot here will not receive. So you kind of have to invite them again to the meeting. The join, then just like your regular app there, you just enter the ID for your meeting and the password and you should be in. The whiteboard is the same whiteboard that we have on your Zoom. So you might have used already. We might touch briefly on that, but not much. Share content is a good option as well if you want to share your screen. Yeah. So you can share directly from your Zoom app if you have on your phone or on your desktop. If you don't have the app, you can use the browser. Just go to this link, and then you're gonna have the meeting ID and passcode here. And with Apple device, then you just use the screen mirror here, and you can use AirPlay as well if you have a Mac. So just make sure you are in the same network, and that should be it. It's connected to the room network, so if you need to. It should come up with this error here. So let me just take a picture of it. Hope you won't interfere our presentation, but then I can log in with support for you to have a look. Let's just close this one down. Right, so that's mainly it. Just other thing to note in this main screen here is the sharing key that you have here on the top. So the sharing key will always renovate every time that you share or every time that you have a meeting. Is this key here that allows other people to share to this screen. So for privacy and everything, it will change, so no one can hold the key and share later or anything like that. So right, let's start our meeting here. Okay, so this is our DTEN. As you can see, the menu there is pretty much the same controls that you have on your regular Zoom. The default configuration for our screen is that you have one main picture that will be the full room, and then you have the breakout for each individual in the room. You can change that configuration just in case you find that too distracting or for any reason. You can always stop. Yes, it does follow around if I don't go.
That's curious.
Yeah. So you can always stop the video just like you would do on your regular Zoom if you are having in-person meeting like us, but you're using the screen, but you don't need to record or anything. I don't know. You could always just stop the video and mute is the same thing as your regular Zoom. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
There's 6 of us, yeah? 6 of us in the room so far. I mean, what happens if you have 25 people in here? Do you have 25 little?
Yeah, and normally it does break into up to 4 or 5 each of these squares.
Okay.
And if I'm not wrong, it can take up to 49, but I could be wrong on that number. But it does. We had very often on AAG meeting with 20 people and just show everyone on the screen. The only thing is, as you see here, like I'm also not coming up on the on my little square here just because I'm too close, of course, of the camera. But if I move a little bit further, I would say for the big screen, around 2 meters.
So if you have somebody, let's say somebody's giving a presentation, and obviously you really want the camera on them, can you lock a camera onto one person?
Yes, you can, but then you go back to the same issue on, if you're too close, then you might, like if you're touching the screen and
let's say somebody's giving a presentation, because our audience, well, I guess we're going to face this way now,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you're moving the screen, then
we kind of face this way, because obviously you see our overhead projector is pointing that way. So we would talk out to the audience here.
The people who are installing this, this is only for small group meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so it's not for a seminar center?
No, seminars probably not really.
You can change the camera if you go into more here. So this is a good icon to remember of. The more we have all the configurations that you might need for the screen. As I say, the configuration, all configurations are default for all screens across campus, but you can change some in your meeting. When you end your meeting, everything will go back to the default. But if you go into camera control here, we do have 3 options. The default, as I say, is the boot stream. You have just auto framing that will give us just the breakout and not the full picture of the room. And then, as you can see, it does follow you around, like following you before. And we do have the manual configuration that will show only the full screen, the full picture of the room. And then you can, let me just check, I think I have to zoom in. And then you can change the sliding to where you want to point at. So yeah, so if you want to keep it like that, for example, might be an option that, and it does, of course, because you pointed the camera, then it won't follow you around, but the mic does follow you around the room as well, so it tries to surprise the
And how do you switch out of the manual? You go back to those settings and change to streaming or whatever it was.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it will hold this
because that's holding that now.
for the meeting, yes. But if you want, if I end the meeting now here, that configuration will be gone. So for the next meeting, if you want the same configuration, you'll have to do it again. If you want on this meeting to change, just go back
to the
control and then yeah, and it does come back for you. Okay.
If you go back to multi-stream, please.
Yeah.
If you select one of us, select mine, can you lock on just so it's mine?
I believe so. You can the same options that you have on Zoom there. You should be able to ping on the screen. Maybe we have to go into more manage participants, and then I think you are on E1.
Okay.
So let's try to ping that one. More manage participants E1.
First one, yeah.
So this pin here for us only, but then you're very welcome. But we do have the option to make a spotlight for everyone. Then I believe anyone remotely then will also have the same thing pinned to them.
That might be good for the seminar. We could just put it on the speaker.
So let's just move.
Yeah.
Right. So the camera basically is it. Following around the mic as well, following around, everything is here on the screen, so there's nothing across the room, but it does have a really good sound suppression and everything, so you should be able to have any problem hearing anyone like across the room or anything like that. Right.
Just
Somebody coming in.
Oh.
So,
Probably thought it was a Zoom meeting as well.
I'll
How is
propose
it?
that.
Did you? No, we'll leave him. Let's see if he can join us. Can you join us? Because he can tell us what we
Hi,
sound like.
hello. Oh, remember there was an issue with the mic. Jeff, can you hear us? Okay, so I don't know what the issue with the mic was, but let's
Did you share a Zoom?
Yeah, it was on the
Hi, Jeff.
invitation.
Put your
Hi.
mic on.
Put your mic on so we can hear you.
Hello.
So just to let you know, even though we do have a Zoom link, most of the demonstration, let me just step back so you can see me. Anyway, most of the demonstration is done in the screen itself, so you might not see where I'm looking, where I'm pointing at, but Tine is recording, so if you want to check up later, you should have access to that. Right?
Sorry, what's your name? Sorry.
Irina.
Irina.
Yes.
I just noticed that the Newman E003, the one that's highlighted there,
It's locked.
It's locked, isn't it? It isn't
Sometimes it
moving.
does happen when you switch between cameras, so all you have to do is go back and try to switch again, like turn off and on and see if that comes back. Let's try again. So let's close.
It's basically where you put it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
And
now
it
it's
hasn't.
going back to there. Oh Jesus.
That's locked. That's
Yeah.
keeping us in the same
Let's
place.
try just reset from the.
You might need. So you've done a manual, and that manual is.
Yeah, I would try to go back to manual there and see. They won't resolve demonstrations always.
Well, it's good if things go wrong in a demonstration because
So let me
then.
just reset.
Yeah, that's on back to the demo.
So, okay, and laptop frame. Yeah,
That's
I think we have to kind of reset before
Okay.
moving out. But at least it's working, so
Yeah.
it's our first round, Jeff. It should be going better than this. Anyway, so here at the bottom you see you have the same things, the same icons that you would have on a regular Zoom. I will leave the share content for last, so then I can share screen and also show you how to put the room, how it should look like and everything. But it will be exactly the same options that you had, that I showed at the beginning of the meeting, the direct share. So that's one thing, the view, then same thing as you have on your own Zoom. This will change only for us and won't change for anyone at home. The whiteboard, I will just briefly touch. We have two options here, the classic and the new one. I will go for the new one just because we have a little bit more of features. So as you can see here, you can share with everyone and then you can make everyone able to edit or view. I will leave as edit and open collaborate here. So, Draft now should be able to enter anything in the whiteboard once it loads. Here, let's just give it a time. Right. Well, it's very different from my last presentation, so let's just go down. This one thing about Zoom as well, it does update very frequently, and it does listen to the customers, which is a good thing, but sometimes you can get caught by surprise. So if you do have something that's really important, I would advise maybe coming 10 minutes, just make sure that everything that you're looking for is there where you think it is. So as you can see now, as you can see now, they do have several templates here. I will leave those for who wants to explore. I will just scroll down and then just show the basic tools here so we can get through that. So the first one of those, the ones to select. The second one is the pencil, where you can draw on anything that you want, like a free form drawing. Here are our shapes. So you can create shapes whatever you want. And if you click on these, here you can customize the shapes. And if you click on these blue arrows here, you can create the diagrams for you. And of course you can change the shapes that you want there. So let's see if we can, yeah, if you hit the little icon here for text, the keyboard comes up for you. So normally every time that you need to type in, that you have the opportunity to type in anything on the screen, the keyboard will pop up for you, and you can close down here. So let's just try this one again.
Can you use the whiteboard without being in a meeting?
Yes, you can. In the beginning there, I remember there was a whiteboard icon, so you can just go from there. Again, the only thing is, if you want to share with anyone remotely, then you might have to invite them here in the meeting. You should be able to, I believe, here and share the whiteboard through there. No, it's not coming. Yeah, but there is an option for you to share it. Okay, so here are our basic tools, so arrows and lines. Here your text box again. I create a text box, I can configure it on the top here, and then I can type in here with the keyboard. Once that's done, the keyboard goes away for us. I would advise, of course, is a lot of manual work for you typing each letter on the screen. So I do recommend that when you're having a meeting, you do have a backup device that you log in, just because it's easier for you if you need to manage anything, or if you need to type in anything, change anything. It's easier to do from here than in front of everybody trying to figure out where you have to go. See? Here we have the post-its. This is a new one, the templates. So you can select any templates from here. Scroll down. More templates, nice tables. These two are new even for me. We do have the eraser, and we have this option to return whatever we did or go back. So let me just check now. Or option 2. It's not really that interesting. Right, we can save the screen again if you want to scan that and save to your own device, or if you go into export keyboard, you can export them for anyone. Let's just make sure that it does come up with the UCD. Yeah, it does come up with the UCD director here, so if you want to send to someone specific in UCD, you are able to pick up from the list here. If not, you can then just type in the external email there. So that basically is with our keyboard. Now, whiteboard. We do have hidden here the option to zoom in and out. Okay, so let's just go back. And we do have this little guy here that creates more pages if you want different whiteboards and go back and forth between them. It's all done on that little icon on the corner. If we click on these 3 dots, we should have the option then to share the whiteboard. And then instead of sending the PDF or the PNG of this, it will give access to the whiteboard for us. So what I would do is just log in with my own account here.
Is it possible that is the share content set up there so that see that green little box down the bottom there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to do that first before you can share?
Oh no, that should be already set up. So the sharing is enabled already.
Okay, I was just wondering.
And the whiteboard should just matter of send the email, just like we would say was in the save option there. Not sure really why it's not coming up for us. Let me just log in with my own device here. One thing to keep in mind is when you do book the room and you attach a link to it like we did here, the DTEN becomes the co-host for your meeting. So if I don't log in with my own credential because I was the one creating the meeting, the DTEN is the only host then for the meeting. So just be mindful of that if you are
And are you sharing the calendar directly? So you have to add meetings into a different calendar then?
No, you should be able to, I can show you in the end,
Yeah.
but you'll be able to create on your own calendar and just invite the room like you would be a guest.
Oh, okay.
So, like it is the same process. So, okay, you see there I log in and I'm not getting the feedback from my PC because when I log in, it detects that you are in the same room. It does come up with this little window here asking if I want to join the audio or not. I would say 95% of the times it does recognize that you are in the same room and it kind of cues the audio for your Zoom. If that doesn't happen, then of course just mute your sound and your microphone. But I would say for most of the time it does come up. So we can just close this message here. Okay. And if I try to make any shapes or anything here, I am able to do it, but it's just like the same controls that you would have on your Zoom there.
What kind of format does it save in? Is it just an image? Or is it...
So you do, when you are sending the email there, you're saving here, you do have the option to select, if you export here, and you do have the option to select PDF or PNG. But now that I log in here, and that's what should come up on the DTEN screen there for you. Because I am co-host, I have the option to share here on my own device. You have the share option here, and then you have the ability to share the whiteboard itself. So whoever receives the link can enter, and then you can select viewer or editor permissions. So it's really up to you, and then the person will receive the link to the whiteboard. Again, if you look here, you can see other people that are in the meeting, like Jeff here. But you can also, if you start typing the email, it will come up with the UCD directory as well. So it's easier for you to share it inside UCD. And if it's outside, you can just type in their email. So basically, for the whiteboard, that's it. It's not much different than using on your regular Zoom meetings there. So I will just end this one. Oh, not this one. Here, sorry. These things keep changing inside. Yeah, let's just discard the whiteboard. So here we're back from in our main screen again. I will just go into our more options one more time. We went through the camera control. Breakout rooms, exactly the same thing as Zoom. Creates the breakouts, you decide how many are in each. You can start the recording here for the meeting. One thing to keep in mind, like I say, if you book the room with the DTEN becomes the host for that meeting. If you don't log in with your personal account or the person who created who is the owner of the booking doesn't log in, only the DTEN will be the host for that meeting. And if you start recording, you might have problems to access the recording afterwards. Because even though the DTEN has an account of its own, it's not a personal account, so we cannot access it. So just make sure if you need recording or if you are using the whiteboard to log in with the login of the person who created the meeting. If that's not possible, you can always go into Manage Participants. And let's see here for Jack, for example, we can make him
co-host.
Co-host. I would say always stay as co-host, because if you become the full host for the meeting or make anyone else the full host, you might lose some of the functionalities on the DTEN screen, okay? So this bit on Manage Participants is basically the same thing on your Zoom. You can find our options there for individual, and if you go into more here, you then have like book options if you want to make everyone mute or hide the non-video participants or show the non-video participants. You can do all from this screen. Okay, so let's just close this one now. Any questions there so far? That's pretty much the same thing as your regular Zoom. Just showing one last thing that I forgot. If you need to invite anyone for the meeting, exactly the same thing, just go into manage participants, invite, and then again your UCD directory comes up, and then you can just search the name of the person there. If it is someone external, you can just send the email then to them, the same email that Zoom sent to us. Let's close this one down. And then that you would lose if for any reason you create a meeting, you didn't attach a Zoom link to it, and you need someone to join remotely. That's how you invite someone else to the meeting. Right, so let me just have a look if I got through here. So, okay, record, we went through that. Chat is that the same thing. If you do find that the audio is too loud, you can always put down here, as the default is always on the maximum volume there, okay? And this is also a default configuration, so if we close down this meeting here, it will go back to the full.
Can we ask Jeff, because obviously we're in the room, and you're facing us.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, Jeff, how are you finding the audio?
Yeah, the audio is fine.
It's fine, yeah?
But yeah, I mean, there's actually the only problem is that when I'm speaking, there's a really bad echo, like feedback. It's probably from the microphone picking up the audio that, you know, isn't my voice.
Oh, so when you're talking, you can hear a little bit of feedback on the audio when you're speaking?
Yeah, quite a lot actually, yeah.
Quite a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can hear all of you crystal clear.
Yeah.
Might the laptop. Do you want to? No, the laptop's doing a little feedback.
No,
it's
my
muted.
audio is not connected during the laptop because of the first identification there.
Yeah, that's a little disappointing to hear that.
It's the first time, to be honest, first time that I heard anyone
Because
having
if
feedback.
if we've got guests, say if we've got a hybrid event and we've got people who are asking questions from the Zoom audience, they don't really want to be hearing.
Definitely, yeah.
I said that's going to be a little bit off-putting.
Could you mute the full room or something like that? Is that what's creating the feedback?
I don't think we can. Well, we can try to merge individuals, but I don't think we can because it's all the same mic, you see.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's something that's possible. We can try to. But like I say, we do quite a lot. Like, yeah, we only have the microphone for the main here, the host.
Yeah. So it might be a thing if you had to mute
But
let somebody else have to talk.
like I was saying, we do use quite a lot back in EAG, like weekly, and we never had any problem. Like people are weekly, remotely, no one has feedback. So it could be something specific to this.
Acoustics of the room. But if we mute ourselves, so if we mute, would Jeff? Yeah.
Then he won't be able to hear us, but he can speak.
Yeah.
And then he won't have. Are you have feedback now? No. He can hear.
Okay, maybe just unmute
But-
and then.
okay.
Jeff, would you mind we're going to mute ourselves and then just speak and see if the feedback's bad or not, and then, yeah.
Right.
Sure. I'm not hearing any feedback at all. No. Yeah, this is normal, like on Zoom.
So could be related to that error that was coming up in the beginning of the screen. So let me just check with support, because if you have any feedback, you shouldn't. Like I say, it's my own experience, and everyone else in IT service, we use weekly, we don't have any feedback, and we didn't have any complaints.
Oh, yeah,
so
it's
it should be
really-
something else, unfortunately. But
Okay.
let's
What if you bring
get
the
around
volume?
it.
What if we bring the volume down? It's just
Yeah.
across pretty
Volume.
good.
Yeah.
If we reduce the volume,
That was-
let's see if there's
Oh, yeah,
feedback.
sure.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because it is actually quite loud, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good volume.
How's
right.
How's that,
Is
Jeff?
that better?
Yeah, actually, this is fine. I don't hear any feedback.
Oh.
I guess I hear a very little bit, but it's not
Still
hearing.
coming a little bit.
Can you hear us
Now?
okay when we're talking?
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, he's loud. He's
Well, he's got a bit quiet there.
Yeah, so.
Right. So.
Where's the volume then? Somewhere halfway.
maybe.
How's that, Jeff?
Yeah, this is okay.
Is it? Yeah.
It has a little bit, but it shouldn't. So let's just check back with support, because even if you're getting the error there, that shouldn't be coming up even if it doesn't affect the meeting itself. So let's just go back to that and see what happens. What I would do now is just go for our share content option. I will share from my own device here, but if you want to try on your devices to share anything, feel free. Okay. So anyone? No? we did have one guy who decided to share and suddenly his WhatsApp were all over the screens.
No, really?
Right, so let's just, on your regular Zoom app here, you just hit share screen, just like you would in meeting. So then, same options we have here, your full screen or specific apps. So let's just get the full screen here. Right, so now I'm able to present to the screen, but I can't control my screen from here. For me to be able to do this, I have to give the control, remote control from my device to DTEN. So what I will do is go into this little pencil here. The first thing that comes up for us is this menu where you can write on the screen and you can change, and basically the same tools that you would have on your whiteboard. So it's really good if you're pointing out specific things on the screen. Only downside to that is that if I do change my screen, the things are still there. So just keep that in mind. If that doesn't happen, all I have to do is just go here and the little bin, everything, and hit the little bin, everything will be gone. If I want to control my screen so I don't have to keep going back and forth, I can hit this little, just show you here. There is this little mouse icon here on the corner. You hit that and then you request the remote control from whoever is sharing. So I have then of course to go back and approve, but then that's basically each step. I can change between screens, and of course always depending on how far are you sharing, if you're sharing your full screen or if you're sharing on a specific app. But then I should be able to just put that down. And then if you have a PowerPoint, for example, you can just start presenting from there. Yeah, and if you tap here once, it will go forward. If you slide backwards, it should go back. And yeah, so that's the thing with design. If you have to go back, it's not very precise. So
It's two slides, isn't it?
yeah, it could be one, could be two, could be go back all. I think it might be a very precise if you
Distance.
train enough. You should be able to pick up exactly how to control. But it's sometimes just easier to open your little keyboard here and just go back, just like you would do on your desktop or laptop. Right? So let's just close this one down. And that's mainly it. Again, we do have the option to switch between the two menus here, so I can go back into the writing menu and write whatever I want to point out on the screen. And if I want to change the screen, then and control, I just have to type in and then I can switch back and forth, so I don't have to go back to the device and here. Right, if I want to erase, back to the little pencil and just hit the bin. So that's mainly it. You can change the color. And so the very basic editing tools that you have there. Here then you have the option to share whatever screen you're seeing there. This won't share the full slide, for example, which you take a snapshot of the screen with the annotations that you put on. And again, here you have two options. If you go for email, you're gonna have whatever participants join the meeting there. You can hit select all participants there. It will fill up if you have 10, 20 people, we just pre-populate on the screen. If not, then you can just type in the name and then the person should come up there for us from the UCD directory. Always keep in mind that if you're sharing with the Zoom chat, once people leave the meeting, they won't be able to access anymore. So I suggest always using the email just to be on the safe side. Just close this down and If I don't want to control my screen anymore, I can just stop the screen controlling from here and stop. This won't kill the screen sharing. You have to go on your own device and where you start to share and stop it. One thing that's really helpful if you are trying to figure out what you have to do, mainly for in-person meetings. Let's say I'm kind of lost, I want to find out what I have to do, I'm sharing already on the screen. So if you want to override this presentation, you can go here to share content, camera, and then just select DTEN camera. This overrides the screen for us there, but it won't override for anyone who is remotely, right? So it's just helpful for who, if you are having an in-person meeting and you want to do, like Jeff is sitting there on his side, and I can show you here, like I still see my slide here, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, once I figure out what I want to share, I can just hit the stop share here on the corner, and that should be it. I'm back to my own screen sharing there. Right, so what I will do now is just close off this presentation. And I will share my calendar, not here. Okay. Right, so to make the booking, all you have to do is create your regular booking. So let's create something for later today. I add a title. Time, of course, change there, add your guests that you want to be on that meeting. The only thing different that you have to do is on this little arrow here, you add your Zoom link straight from the booking instead of creating a meeting in the Zoom app or whatever you will do. You just make sure that you add your Zoom link from here, because if that's linked to our booking, it will come up on the screen for you to start from the screen. If not, then it might be a little extra work for you to go around, start a new meeting from DTEN and have to invite everyone else or send the link around. So,
can I ask you a question? Sure. Just so because I'm a bit hopeless with this technology. Is that done from our PC, or is that
from any
Does it automatically do the D10?
Yes. So what we do is,
I was just wondering,
the way that links to this specific room is by going here on add room.
Yeah.
So then you select this specific room, and is the link.
So we have to add the room first. So we've got the room selected, and then set up the.
It doesn't matter the order that you do, as long as you do it. So make sure that you have your Zoom link, just because if you need to, the screen is easier for everyone to access it, mainly for people that are joining remotely. And add your room. Actually, the main thing is add your room. So to make sure that you're actually booking this room. So if we search by Newman.
8003 should come up.
Yeah, we have here on the bottom. One thing very important to, once I click on that, you see that it comes up here on the top. So there's no pop-up message saying, yes, you book it, it's fine. But if you're wondering if it's there or not, just look there on the top here of the list. If it's coming up with this little gray icon here, it should be there for you. So if I just go back, and I look here, I have my title, I have whatever guests I'm inviting, I have my Zoom link, and in the bottom here, I have my room.
Location.
So just make sure that you are adding the room, and we'll have this little door on the side, and not adding location, because if you add location, this won't link with the DTEN device. Yes, there's no relation. Even if you click in add location, you won't be able to find the DTEN. So as you can see here, it's on my own calendar. It's not like a specific DTEN or room calendar.
Okay.
It's just your regular calendar. Right. So let's just save this one. Okay. And If I close down the meeting here, for us, the meeting will come up on the screen there. But what I want to do is just create a second meeting here. And with no link, just so you can see how it looks like. So no Zoom link, and I will add just the room for this one. Right. Okay, and go back and save. Right. So Jeff, I will have to end our meeting here just to show for the rest of the room. But we might come back or we might not. Anyway, it was a pleasure to meet you.
See you, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
So I will just end this one and meeting for all. I might hit this problem. Let's see. So as you can see here, it's very quick to operate. So I do have our own meeting, our AMG test, the one that I create with the link, and then I have this one with no link. As you can see, there is no option for you to join or start the meeting. It's just holding the time slot there for you. But even though we are still on our 1 to 2 p.m., if I want to start a meeting that there is not related to that booking, I am able just to type in the booking ID, the meeting ID, sorry, and join from there. Alright. I am able to share directly from the screen without being in a meeting as well. If I hit share here. Yeah. So I'm not connected anymore on our meeting there. So I can either go for the browser or just use my Zoom app. So let me just go to Zoom here. We are most finishing, and that should be more or less things there. So let's just open my Zoom app and hit share screen here on the app. Let's just give it a moment. Right, so because I am in the same room, it detects that I am in the same room and that this is the device that I am trying to share of. Because I had this screen to share open here and my device was connected with the UCD credentials. So it's not like anyone would be able to just pop in and share anything on the screen. It has to be a UCD credential, be nearby the device, and the share content open there in the screen for you. So, other thing to note when you are directly sharing like we did there without actual meeting is that you don't have the option to select which part of your device you're sharing. You just share the full screen. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing a direct share, you cannot select what you're sharing. You're just sharing the full thing. The same options we have, actually we don't have here, sorry. For us, we do have to, if you want to control the screen from the direct sharing, you have to start a meeting. And then go into our request control here, which is a little bit of extra steps there for you to remember and get around. It's possible, but that's why I'm saying, even if you're not having anyone join remotely, better just dropping the Zoom link to your booking. It just makes your life easier.
But just think that there's not actually a Zoom meeting.
But it's pretty much the same thing from here. Exactly the same controls. It's just like any regular meeting here. So I just close this one down and end this meeting. And that should be it for us. One thing that does get people caught is if they don't find their room in the list. So if I try to create a booking here, let's just make these are less thing to show. So I'm trying to create a booking for 1 p.m. the same time that we had booking for a meeting before. And I will try to add the room here. If I type in E03, the room does not come up for us. If the room does not come up for you, it's not available. That's it. That's to avoid double bookings, okay?
Does that include bookings that aren't Zoom, so it's just all Zippy, so like for example, room allocation, bookings for teaching?
No, it's not related at all with any
Okay.
booking from one
I
place.
might try to duplicate.
Yes.
Because I can duplicate the lecture
Because
across into this room, and then
You-
that way we'll.
You might not need to duplicate, but if you can go into your
And
calendar and just
yeah.
add the room there, that should be it then.
Yeah.
It will block out.
Yeah.
Because the school calendar is already on the Google
Yeah, so the
calendar.
school calendar's there, yeah.
So you can say what room, what time is available, and then you can put it.
Yeah, I think
it's
that's-
doable,
yeah.
but yeah, I'm just wondering if there was,
One
if that was
thing,
linked to that.
one thing to note, sorry to interrupt, but just one thing to note before I forget. You know yourselves how we do have people that like to investigate and try new options. So if you hit the drop down here, you have the option to include unavailable rooms, and human E003 will show up for you, even though it's crossed out.
Yeah.
If you're seeing any room crossed out, that means the room is booked already. So but it doesn't stop me to select the room, as you can see it. But what will happen is, I create a booking, I save it. If I open the booking there, it should be there.
Do you have the link in the ad conferencing?
No, it wasn't even the ad conference. It should be crossed out. So let me just check here on my email, because you do receive a notification saying the room has declined the meeting.
Okay.
So let's just see. Maybe just taking its time. No, could be because it's a meeting that is passed already, so it doesn't even recognize you for you to. Could be. Let's just try to change this booking to a later time. One of the tests that I have created today. So let's just try again. Oops. So you still come down there. Be true. So yeah, wow, it arrived. So as you can see there, your first email is just saying our Newman E003 declined the meeting. So just keep in mind an eye if you are changed your booking time. The
To
room,
make sure.
yeah, it won't stop you from changing the time. That's what I mean. It won't stop you from changing the time. But if the room is not free, you will receive a declining menu there on the screen. And if you look in the booking now, maybe it should come up as like room cross out. You know, like when a person declines the meeting, you should cross out the guest. Yeah, unfortunately. Demonstrations always take the best of us. Anyway, maybe this is it for DTEN. It's very similar to Zoom, which just find your way around the screen and how to share the remote control and everything if you don't want to be going back and forth. But that's mainly it. I don't know if you guys have any questions for it.
I think I might just, sorry, it's not even a question for this, I think I might take this school meeting tomorrow, just that like the bookings still have to, I'm slightly concerned, I'm going to school the room bookings, and I'm going to say to people that they should still check if the room's free with me, just
Yes.
so that so that nobody thinks that just because it isn't on that it isn't booked.
No, they can't come directly to here, they have to book because it won't work, correct?
But if they, so it's not that just we'll have like room bookings going in and out, and so I don't like if I don't get to say add it to the
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has
we
to be
do.
coordinated,
The
yes.
sensible thing to do would be to book the room
yeah
and then book the Zoom.
yeah.
Yeah.
We do advise.
Festival is always a word I associate with.
We do advise for people to mainly start to go to a specific email address, and so then it's up to the school to decide. I'm not sure which email address was chosen for
I think it's geography at UCD.ie.
Yeah, so we do advise for people to go to that main email instead of booking themselves, but unfortunately there's no way for us to stop
Yeah,
from
no,
making
it's not really you issue. It's
yeah. But if you do find anyone, it's up to school to decide then who has priority of the room. If it's a booking that wasn't organized with directly with the school, you know. So
Okay, but say if it's booked using the school address, but for instance, a seminar might be organized by somebody like Jonathan. Now, would that cause any issue with hosting and sharing? When he is logged in, but actually the room was booked by the school.
Yeah, I think if we do if we say just check the room's free with me and then book it on your own
On your own.
laptop, we'll
Yeah.
just, I think it's just something to say.
Yeah.
but if ever happens of like someone else is the owner of the booking, that person is not in the room, you can always start the meeting from here and assign join and then assign the co-host to someone else.
Yeah.
So that's always an option, just going to
Yeah.
more.
However, I will not be joining everybody's meetings. But yeah, that's an internal.
Yeah,
school.
no, I'm just saying because it does have quite a lot. It's one of the questions that we receive. How to make a booking, why my room is not available, like why I can't see my room, you know. So just keep things that might happen, like so. Yeah. Anyway, if you do have any questions or any problems using the device, you can always email eeg.support.ucd.ie, and most likely they will send the query to me, or they will reply very quickly. So if you have anything, if you need anything, or just
you're going to ask the query just about the error coming up.
yeah, I will.
Don't have to bother you.
No, I have a word with them.